Hello everyone, myself Dr. Praveen Nitnavre, Associate Professor Mechanical Engineering Department, Diva Patil College of Engineering, Akurdi, Pune, and as a part of International FDP on Environment and Sustainability, today I am presenting here the week 4 video on topic CNG emissions and reduction methods. So this is the week 1 video link, and it was about the awareness of compressed natural gas and its uses, and the week 2 video link where compressed natural gas controlling strategy was discussed and its effect on the ozone layer was confirmed. So here the outcome for the students will be that they will get familiar with the emission norms of the IC engine. They will maintain the environmental emission standard, and they will try to reduce the NOx and CO2, which are important part for the BS6 norms, and different strategies used to reduce these emissions, that is NOx and CO2. And also they will learn how the bad effects of these emissions are going to form on the living organism and the human health. And thereafter we will see what are they will know that about the after treatment devices, what are required to reduce these emission norms. So we see that the large amount of the emissions are emitted by the vehicles, and which is emitting the environment, polluting the environment very badly. It is observed that the 67% is of the nitrogen, 12% is of the carbon dioxide in the nature, whereas water, which is observed, is 11%, 9% is the oxygen, and in that, comparing with this air, you will see the 1% is the pollutant comparing to the 9% oxygen. So it is a very dangerous one comparing with the oxygen and the fresh air. Here we can see the greenhouse gases emissions which are forming and how they are going to contribute. You can see the CO2 by sector wise, and it is observed that sector wise these are going to get increased. There is with the production of the electricity, that is energy, then by the transport sector, which is going to contribute here, and it is shown in the billions of tons. So these are the different sectors which are polluting the environment. It is observed that this greenhouse gas emissions by the economic sectors, that is 25% by the heat production, then agricultural, forestry and other land use also going to contribute of 24%, then buildings 6%, transportation 14%, industry 21%, and other sector energy, that is 10%. This is some of the carbon emissions which are going to form worldwide, and it is observed that India is contributing 370 gram of carbon dioxide emissions per kilometer, and it is the top one comparing with the other countries. So here we will see that which is only going to form by the carbon based. In the red color you will see it is in the carbon based emissions which are contributing by the India, South Africa, Australia, Indonesia. Then the fossil energy and the road, you can see the mix fossil, light and low carbon. So for reduction in these emissions which are contributing mainly by the vehicles, my topic is related with the vehicles, how they are contributing. Nowadays we are seeing with the BS6 norms which are implemented from 1st April of this year 2020, and it has become mandate that such type of filters should be implemented in the vehicles to cut the particulate matter emissions from the exhaust. Complying vehicles are less polluting due to less emission of toxic gases, and mandates onboard diagnosed for vehicle maintenance. So this is a BS6 emission implemented from 1st of April, and it is more stringent about the CO2 and the NOx emissions which are forming by the exhaust gases. You can see here the BS6 norms, how it is going to get reduced the emissions comparing from 1999. The percentage of the particulate matter, it was for 13.9 and nowadays it is up to 2.0. So drastic reduction day by day, you can see with respect to car, with respect to SUV and with respect to trucks. So here, as the number of vehicles are increasing, though the quantity of the particulate matter and the other emissions are remaining constant, because as we are going to reduce the emissions content with the help of the emission norms, we are reducing it, and again in the same 1 year again the same amount of the vehicles are coming on road, so they are contributing the same amount and there is no time that the reductions in the emissions are going to form. Here when the combustion of the fuel is going to take place, the some part of the heat is going to convert in the power, that is a 20% we can say it, then the 50% is going to carried by the cooling water, then 18% by the exhaust gases, 7% by pumping loss and 6% by the frictional loss. But in the other, comparing with the new advanced technology and new improvement in the techniques, it had reduced the exhaust gas cooling water heat carrying by using the proper types of the radiators, optimized radiators. We had reduced that heat carried by it is the 30%, 33%, then 13% is by carrying by the exhaust gases by forming the complete combustion. Reduced in the pumping losses is by 1, we can see it from 7 it is to 1, and friction losses are also going to get 50% reduced. Here this is the plan that what is the target of 2.15 and the target of 220 comparing with all the other vehicles for the CO2 emissions. And it is observed that in every vehicle and every manufacturer are trying to reduce the CO2 emissions from the vehicle. These are some of the emission standard of the BS6 norms, that CO in the BS6 in a milligram per kilometer it was 1000. In BS6 it is also same. There is no any changes in the BS6 norm about the CO and HC. Whereas NOx is going to reduce by the 25%. In the BS6 emission norms, the NOx content initially it was 60 milligram per kilometer, that it should be reduced to 80 it was initially in BS4, now it is 60 milligram per kilometer you have to reduce it. And particulate matter, they have become compulsory in the BS6 norm. You will know that the diesel engines, they are the main contributor for the particulate matter. When uncontrolled combustion is going to take place and when the temperature is very high, the carbon present in the combustion chamber is going to convert in the hard carbon, and this is the main emittent. Because of this particulate matter, the lung cancer and various diseases of the respiratory system is going to form there. For these are for the emissions for the petrol comparing with the diesel. So in the BS4 the CO has not formed any changes comparing with the BS4 and BS6, but in the HC NOx, this is the content of the hydrocarbon and NOx emissions, there is 43% reduction is there in the BS6 norm. NOx is reduced by 68% and there is a 82% reduction in the particulate matter for the diesel. So this will become more stringent, and hence the manufacturer will have to attach the additional devices in the exhaust so that this content of the NOx, HC and particulate matter should be reduced, and then will be the certification will be given to the diesel vehicle. These are the some of the data regarding the HC, CO and NOx for the N1, N2 and N3 vehicles. So here N1 is related with the vehicle less than 3.5 ton, and N1 class 2 it is related with the vehicle having the curb weight greater than 3.5 ton but less than 12 ton, and the class 3 vehicles which are there with the class 3 vehicles which is having the more than 12 tons. So these emission norms are for the petrol and diesel vehicle having the class 1, class 2 and class 3 commercial vehicles, and here the relation is given with the BS4 and BS6 norm. So again you can see that in the SC, NOx and PM for the BS4 and BS6. So it is reduced comparatively with the BS4 norms. Here again we can see that particulate matter and NOx emissions which are reduced drastically comparing with the emission norms, and they are implemented with respect to the BS1 to BS6. There is a mass emission standard for 2 and 3 wheelers which is showing the emission reduction gram per kilowatt hour, or so you can show it in the gram per kilometer also by the using test rigs, that may be the on-road test, and the emissions which are going to reduce. So there these emissions are going to calculate by the Indian driving cycles, where it is at the 80 km per hour the speed is maintained on the chassis dynamometer or on the on-road, and the emissions are collected and calculated for the given power and given speed. How the bad effects are going to form from these emissions are that there are two types, that is the criteria and non-criteria types of the pollutants. Their criteria can be formed on the carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, then the oxides of nitrogen, particulate matter, ozone, oxides of sulfur and lead. Although they are harmful to health and air quality, non-criteria pollutants are not regulated by the EPA. So these non-criteria pollutants are total organic gases, volatile organic compounds, hydrocarbons, methane, air toxins and greenhouse gases. So these carbon monoxide, which is a criteria pollutants, these are very dangerous. They are going to form the cardiovascular disease, also going to damage the central nervous system. These are poisonous and can cause death. So you will see in the US there is 56% of CO is emitted by the road vehicles. Comparing here with the NOx, so here it is very dangerous and from the respiratory system. The high diversity, mobility and reactivity of NOx enables this acid rain, climate change, deteriorate water quality and affecting the ozone, air toxics and particulate matter. Approximately 55% of the man-made NOx emissions come from motor vehicles. This particulate matter, this is again dangerous one, can cause the asthma, emphysema, bronchitis, heart disease and lung disease. It is a carrier of many toxic compounds, contribute to haze, pollute fresh and coastal waters and contaminate farmland. And this PM is emitted directly from vehicles, especially from the diesel vehicle, and is formed through the atmospheric reaction of NOx and oxides of sulfur. Ozone, this is again one of the important criteria which should be maintained, that is ozone commonly referred to as the smog, which is going to form by the reaction of the NOx and SOx. Ozone is a powerful oxidant that can be reduce lung function, aggravate asthma, increase chances of respiratory illness and lead to permanent lung damage. It can also damage plant tissue, kill plants and reduce farm yields. And ozone is not a direct vehicle emission, it is formed in the air through NOx, volatile organic compounds and atmospheric air in the presence of sunlight. Generally, O3 formation in urban area is more volatile organic compound sensitive, while it is more NOx sensitive in rural areas. Not all organic compounds are equal when it comes to form ozone. Then there are sulfur oxide, is also called as oxides of sulfur, SOx, and they can also form the aggravate respiratory illness and heart, lung and lung diseases. It forms particulate matter and is primary cause of acid rain. Most vehicle emission studies do not consider SOx because vehicle contributes such a small portion of the total amount emitted by human activity. Then lead, nowadays the lead petrol is directly banned. Lead is a liquid metal and it is very dangerous, affecting directly the nervous system of the human organisms, human body. So this is nowadays it is completely banned, so there is no emission norms regarding the lead. Then comparing with the other non-criteria pollutants, so these non-criteria pollutants are total organic gases. This is a broad category, includes gases at atmospheric pressure and ambient temperature. This causes headache, dizziness, upper respiratory tract irritation, nausea and cancer. Volatile organic compounds are defined in several ways. In the broadcast sense, they are organic gases. Then total hydrocarbons are a group of compounds comprised of hydrogen and carbon. Most total organic gases in vehicle emissions are hydrocarbon except for those containing non-hydrogen or carbon atoms. Oxygenated hydrocarbons such as alcohol and aldehydes are not considered total hydrocarbons. Methane is again one of the greenhouse gas and is going to affect the ozone layer. It is an organic gas. It is neither photoreactive nor toxic. It is often emitted. This results in non-methane hydrocarbon, and methane is also greenhouse gas in 23 times more potent in warming the atmosphere than carbon dioxide. Greenhouse gases are global pollutant. This is far the most abundant global warming gas in the transportation sector. However, fluorinated refrigerants used in mobile air conditioner are also major contributor due to their high global warming potential. Thank you very much.